What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an exceptional month so far. It's that time of the month there, Scorpio. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just phenomenal. Yes, we are very phenomenal there, Scorpio. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Scorpio, because it is Celestial News Monthly. You know how it is, Scorpio. This is my favorite time of the month, and I don't think it'll ever stop being that. But Scorpio, with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said there, Scorpio, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. Now I'm going to pull I have Zodiac Oracle cards here with each of the signs that the sun and the planets are in. I'm going to pull an Oracle card for each one of them, and then I'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, Scorpio, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching, Scorpio, so definitely check them out. One of them is Scorpio. She's a fantastic reader. And they're all really fantastic, but I think you'd like their energies there, Scorpio. Also, there's a link for a couple of astrologers that I like following as well. I think one of them has I want to say they're Mercury and Scorpio, which that's a very, very curious placement there. I always kind of dig that one. I have a friend who has that. But also there are going to be some links for some other tools and podcasts and things. I'm going to start really loading that description box up here with different things for you there, Scorpio. So stay tuned for that. I'm getting caught up on some things. I was a little under weather the last couple of days, so we're playing catch up. But I'm getting there, Scorpio. But before we get into this big, what would you even call this? Extravaganza. That's a good word. Extravaganza that Aquarius is throwing in their sign. I want to talk about a particular aspect that's going to be happening on the day that the sun is going and your modern ruler Pluto is going to be entering into Aquarius, which the sun is going to be conjunct Pluto on the 20th at 8:46. And the reason I wanted to point this out, and that you'll hear a lot of like other astrologers and maybe even some tarot readers talk about this, is because where it's happening is a very, very the timing is it's uncanny. It's gonna be happening on this conjunction. Conjunctions happen when it's the strongest blend of energies between two planets. There's when the planets are within 0 to 3 degrees of each other. And when the two planets are in the exact location, it's going to be happening on the 29th degree, which is a special degree or like a critical degree in astrology, because it's known as the anaretic degrees, being the last degree, and this can bring about points of crisis or culmination where themes of the sign are kind of felt more strongly there. But it's also happening on the 59th minute of the sign before it officially before the sun will move into Aquarius. The sun will take the lead and take this stuff. So this is going to be an interesting one, because it's like the final push or the last chapter in the book for any sort of Capricorn related themes, because Pluto's been traversing through Capricorn since like 2008, and when the outer planets move, it's a big deal, Scorpio, because they affect not just us personally, but they affect us on a generational scale as well, even when you think about your natal placements. And Pluto being the slowest planet and being the furthest away from the sun, when he moves, it matters. And so this combination here, this conjunction, Pluto likes to dig deep and pull things up from the surface. Pluto is a tough one. People say like that the sign, planet of transformation and things, but he's also, he brings about challenges and crisis and things along those lines, destructions and things. Things are no longer. He shines a light and puts it in your face. This is what we're, just puts it off out there for everyone to see. And now the sun is shining a light on that as well. And I feel like any sort of residual, like any sort of last things that we had that Pluto has, to say for Capricorn season is going to be revealed there, that could deal with maybe some government type things, maybe even some corporations. It's going to be a big deal, but this can lead to a significant personal could lead to significant personal growth, often through intense and challenging experiences. But Pluto does make us more resilient, but it's never easy with Pluto. But in the grand scheme, because he's been forming, since he's been teetering back and forth, and he's going to retrograde one more time back into Capricorn in September, or he's going to go right, and he goes retrograde. I think between September and November, he's going to retrograde back into Capricorn one more time before he gets back into Aquarius. So if you have any Scorpio placements or even any Capricorn placements in that last degree, any cardinal placements or any fixed signs, any air signs, like in that 0 or 29th degree, you're going to be feeling this quite a bit. Pluto's been tapping my moon sign for just this whole since this year, or no, since last year. Yeah, since he first entered Aquarius last year, he's been going back and forth, back and forth. He's hit it like between 3 to 5 times. He's doing a lot, but yeah, this is going to be two people may find themselves confronting power issues and control dynamics or deep-seated fears, but it's going to be one that's going to help us change overall there and really kind of ask us to rise up and come into this new sense of power. So I almost feel like this is going to be just like I'm like, an ego death might seem a little extreme, but almost kinda like it's gonna be an evolution of things. So I feel like this is gonna be a very, very potent energy for the soul tribe. So something to mark on your calendars there, Scorpio. It's gonna be a fascinating. January is gonna be a fascinating, especially towards the end of January when we get started in their Aquarius season. It's gonna be very interesting. But let's go ahead and talk about that bonanza. Bonanza, yeah, we'll go with that. That's going to be going down in Aquarius, because you have the sun that's going to be entering, Mercury that's going to be there, Venus will be entering there a little bit later. So the same with Mars, and then of course your ruler Pluto as well. Oh, see, look, both of your rulers about to be in Aquarius there, so that's going to be interesting. There, you're going to be feeling a little innovative there, Scorpio. But and this might be kind of tougher, and we'll get into that in a second. But with the sun, let me stay on track here, because there's a lot of exciting stuff going on here. But with the sun, he's going to be entering into Aquarius on the 20th at about 9:07 a.m. and will be there and that'll be Eastern time, and will be there through the 18th of February. And with this, individuals may feel more inclined to just express that uniqueness and seek more independence in your personal life. Because, sure, Aquarius is about the collective and groups and friends and things, but it's how you contribute individually to the group that how do you let me try that sentence again. How you individually contribute to the group to raise it as a whole. You know what I mean? What what things are you bringing to the table, you know, and then how do we incorporate that into the larger scale there. And this could be too, you may notice that there's going to be a greater focus on social causes, because Aquarius is a very humanitarianistic sign as well. You may notice that increases in like social causes, community involvements, feeling like connecting with like-minded individuals or groups. And also on a larger scale, this is a period where we might see big movements for like social change, technological advances, and innovative solutions to global issues. Because Aquarius is a very innovative sign as well. They're a sign, they look towards the future, and they will do, they, you know, if they can't, if they, instead of like creating a, you know, thinking outside of the box, sometimes Aquarius, they'll just like burn the box and then build something completely different, you know. Like that's how Aquarius does. They just do their own thing. So, and that's, I feel like, a big thing too, you know. It is finding that sense of individuality, but I do feel that it is to contributing more to society. You know, how are we playing our part? And that's not to put a lot, make you feel pressured or anything, because this is something that we're all feeling. You know, we're in this as a team there, Scorpio. So I feel like that's a really important thing to highlight there. You know, this could be, if we personalize that so much, that can be very overwhelming. So just something to be mindful of there. Then you have Mercury, that's going to be entering on the 5th of February at about a little after midnight, on the 5th at about 12:10 a.m. And this is generally considered a time for open-mindedness, intellectual explorations, and oh, just had like a brain fart. But yeah, intellectual exploration, and particularly in areas that involve like the collective well-being, again, technological advances and innovative problem solving. We're in a very kind of thinking process there. I feel like we're at past this point where, you know, I feel like Capricorn, it was one where we were looking to like authorities and like maybe governments and other things to solve problems for us, but now we're getting to this place where we're thinking more collectively. How can we solve our own things? Because there are certain, I feel there is this realization and this energy of not wanting to settle anymore for just, you know, the old status quo. Where Capricorn is, there are very solid principles that Capricorn does bring, but it's those ones, those more sort of negative aspects that throw things out of balance, that we need to put, that are being brought to face there, that I feel that are going to be challenged in a sense. Now that we're moving into this Aquarian energy, I feel we've gotten so comfortable in this thing. Now it's like we're getting in a new way of operating. And the nice thing too with this energy is Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. He does very well. This is a very brilliant place for Mercury to be. Now with Venus, I'll talk about her in the next energy, because she's going to move through Capricorn first before she gets to Aquarius. But let's talk about your traditional ruler, Mars, because Mars will move into Aquarius on the 13th of February at about 1:05 a.m. And this inspires innovative and unconventional approaches to achieving our goals. Now our drive is more fueled towards, you know, inclined to trying new methods, to thinking out of the box. You know, there's a stronger personal freedom for independence, for freedom and independence in our actions. And, you know, people, one thing I feel like, though, to be mindful of there, Scorpio, is that people might resist control or feel more inclined to challenge authorities there. And I feel that there's, it's like, how can we go about this, you know, challenging that authoritarian energy constructively, you know? So, you know, that's why I feel like it's going to be, I feel like a lot of like social groups are getting ready to start rising up here. It's going to be a very power to the people type of sign. I'm feeling like, what's the name of that? I'm thinking that song, Power to the People. What's that song? John Lennon? I think that's who that's by. But check out, that's a pretty solid song there, Scorpio. But yeah, just something to be mindful of there. And then the much awaited or anticipated energy, Pluto in Aquarius. But then, like I said, he's going to retrograde one more time back into Capricorn a little bit later this year. But he's pretty much about settled in now. You know, we're in this thing, and this transit is going to bring, or may bring about significant changes to social structures, collective ideals. There may even be a rise to new social movements, even a redefinition of even what societal norms are. And I even feel too, just like even major advances in technology, as far as just like, who knows, I'm just maybe even like maybe space travel or something like that. Scorpio, I mean, it's time to think outside of the box. Aquarius does deal with space and things, so who knows, maybe that advancement starts taking off there. Who knows how futuristic we'll be. Maybe we'll start maybe abandoning cars and just like flying around like the who am I thinking about, the Jetsons. And so something to be mindful of there, Scorpio. But it is going to feel like a very, because Pluto does deal with power and does deal with authorities, and like, or not authorities, but deals with power and that just sort of death rebirth type of energy there. So I feel collectively a lot of things are going to be pushed there. So it's going to be I'm curious to see how this is going to translate. So just yeah, something to keep. Just kind of watch where things are going there, Scorpio. But the trickiness with this energy is that depending on where your Scorpio placements are at, this is going to be forming a square with your sign. And with squares, Scorpio, this squares can be tougher energies. They can lead to delays. They can lead to yeah, they're just really kind of inconvenient energies. Like the example that I've been using, and which is strange because now I've been talking to like 4 people now who have had like car things that have been happening. But it's kind of like if something were to happen with your car, knock on wood, where all automobile stuff is, I'm putting that good energy out there for your vehicles there, Scorpio, if you're driving. But it's like, let's say you have to, I don't know, maybe something happens with the undercarriage or whatever, insert car jargon here, and you have to take it to a shop, and you're out for however long. And so now it's like, do I take public transportation? How do I take, do I have, is that even available to me? Do I take Lyft? Is that feasible? Do I carpool stuff? Like, what is that looking like there? And how do we make the most of that situation as well? I feel like squares keep us adaptable. They keep us thinking out. It's kind of Aquarius energy, kind of thinking us outside of the box there and figuring us to take an alternative route for action there. So, but let's go ahead and get into your first card here, Scorpio, which I like this card, which is the Witch Lungs. And I really like this because one aspect with the Witch Lungs is that it signifies that we all breathe the same air, no matter where we're at. And granted, I mean, of course, the environment is going to affect the quality and things along those lines. But that air that's floating through this space, it's all being cycled through there, through these trees and things. And I'm feeling a couple things with this. I feel like there is this. I feel for some that maybe you might be feeling this sort of deeper calling to maybe try to help the community, maybe we're really sensing that universal oneness in a sense there, Scorpio, because you are a very powerful, intuitive, yes, but with your feelings as well, you feel very deeply. And I feel that you're one, like, when something, I feel like, really like resonates with you, or maybe when there's a cause that you're really passionate about, I feel like if it's especially fueled by some sort of like really powerful emotions that you might be feeling, I feel like this can be like this sort of call to action there, Scorpio. So that might be something there. Maybe we're thinking about doing some sort of like community work possibly, or maybe we want to maybe do some volunteer, maybe do like a, what's that one pro, like a big brother big sister type of deal there. Maybe we're going around doing like maybe like a neighborhood cleanup or whatever that might be looking like. I feel like this can be for some, yeah, just like kind of deepening this connection with others. And I feel even too there's this, and not that you don't like people, Scorpio, but I feel that there is this like a deeper compassion that I feel like is maybe developing here over this, and maybe starting to think about maybe some bigger things and how we want to better the world, and not to let that, you know, let all of the plights that are going down deter us from taking action there. You know, we want to try to shift that balance. And again, you're not alone in this, Scorpio. I feel like this is one where maybe we can work with this. And I feel like that's going to tie in nicely when I talk about Venus next. You know, maybe we're connecting with different groups online, or however that's looking like. Or if you're not starting up a thing, maybe you're just like, again, like joining a thing, or whatever that's looking like. But I also feel with this energy too, Scorpio, that there may be a need, if you haven't had a chance to really, I don't know, like get outside as much, you know, maybe enjoy, just like enjoy the natural, enjoy the air that we're breathing, or just enjoy the gifts of nature. I feel like there might be even something along those lines that might even be kind of coming into play there. You know, just like maybe getting out there and maybe sitting underneath the tree, maybe doing some meditation there, maybe getting by some water, just really kind of connecting with the elements. And because I feel Scorpio really does connect with things on such a deep level, and it's so fascinating every time I talk. Especially, I've been talking with this one Scorpio here recently, and some of the experiences that they'll tell me about, and it's just like, you probably think I'm crazy. And it's like, no, you're a Scorpio, of course that makes sense. Like, it's just like maybe you, like, it's just like the things, how in tuned I feel like you can go, and the things that you can it's fantastic. So I just feel like there is this deeper connection with the earth here, just kind of breathing with the planet a little bit. That's very fascinating there. So just in a less fantastical type of explanation there, just getting out in nature there more, Scorpio. Maybe just making, you know, and making sure even like maybe even in our home space, you know, having some air, making sure like there's air circulating, having some freshness, or maybe even getting like a plant or something just to have around you there, Scorpio. But let me get some tarot with this and get some details. Lovely Queen of Cups, I'm with it. Ooh, and Big Papa. Scorpio. Thank you. So you have the Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Pentacles upright. And then you have the Knight of Wands and the Justice card, Libra energy, in reverse. And the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy. And where do you want to start? Because, you know, when I was talking about that we all breathing the same air and things, the Justice card can be this card of, it can deal more than just like cause and effect or balance and things. This, you know, because even though, you know, because even when you think about Libra energy, yes, they're a sign of relationships, you know, that's one at beauty, things along those lines. But Libra is a very, you know, they want balance in the world. They want they want all sides to enjoy things fairly. And that's what I feel like. I feel like this energy is like there's been all these, for some, maybe we've been feeling a lot with the Queen of Cups as far as like these injustices in the world there. And it's gotten to this place where we haven't been maybe, you know, we've been feeling a lot, been taking on a lot of that energies. And that's something, sidebar with that, Scorpio, if that's something that you have been feeling overwhelmed with that, I feel like it is, you know, where, you know, I understand like kind of following these things and stuff, but I feel like being careful about being all consumed with that, you know, where it's crippling you in a sense, where we don't want to get out of bed, where we get into this place of apathy or maybe nihilism or things along those lines. And make sure to cleanse your energies every now and again, because sometimes we can take on these things. You know, water energy is very impressionable to the emotions and things of others, and you know, where they pull on the heartstrings like that. So just something to be mindful of. But I feel that this is a time, if you've been feeling in the state of stagnancy, it's just like, what can we do to get these energies moving back again? You know, what are some stuff that we can maybe start up here? You know, maybe we can, because I feel like any little bit helps there, Scorpio. Maybe you're volunteering at a soup kitchen. You know, maybe you're, you know, volunteering some time at, you know, just like being in this sense of being in this state of service in a sense there, and spreading this, helping to spread more abundance around, and more sort of like, you know, like, because there's enough abundance for all of us around there. This whole idea that there's only a finite amount, this only, so you know, meant for the, you know, select few and stuff, is ridiculous. It's more so we're all meant to enjoy this stuff together. It's just that things have become so distorted over time there. And now I feel like we're getting into a new cycle with the Wheel of Fortune being upright here. And it's just like the wheels are turning. Pluto is moving. And so it's just like asking, what does that mean? And I feel with him kind of teetering back between Capricorn and Aquarius as often as he has been, this is a big sign. He's giving us like, this is a big indicator like, yo, Soul Tribe, I mean business. You know, I know everyone's talking about it, but I'm about to be about it. You know, this is not just about, you know, like it's been in the early stages now, but now we're getting ready to get real. So I feel like it's just like, how do we do, what is that going forward in a sense? There's what I'm kind of feeling with this energy here. But another little thing there, Scorpion, that's interesting. This Witch Lungs too, when I was talking about that justice being a card of cause and effect, I almost feel like for some, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, it's just like, what do we want to breathe new life into? What are some things that we want to raise the vibration with? Because sure, there are some really, really just horrific things that are happening, but there are simultaneously all this great work that is happening as well. But I feel we've gotten so used to letting all of that stuff, you know, eclipse all of the positive things that are happening there. Now it's time to like bust out of that and allow that energy to shine through there more, allowing yourself to express yourself. Because sometimes that can get to the point where you're like, oh well, everything's just doom and gloom, so why bother? You know, like why do I need to start anything? You know, the world, you know, like whatever that mentality might look like there, Scorpio. And I do feel that it is making sure, Queen of Cups too, making sure to just like taking care of yourself, you know, whether this be through some sort of creative endeavor, starting up new sort of things like that, you know, maybe focusing on some sort of breath work and I feel too, even when with the breath, you know, just making it a point to be maybe even more present in the decisions that we're making, how we're contributing, or how we may not be contributing to the betterment. I don't mean that we're making it worse, but I mean that we're just not doing anything, you know. So it's just like, just something I feel like to, and that's not anything I feel like to necessarily, and I hope you know what I mean when I say this. It's not like I'm saying you have to rise up and be the next like leader or anything along those lines, but if we're going to talk about a problem but we're not going to do anything about it, then we can't feel any sort of way about it when things aren't going the way that we want, because what have we done to make it what have we done to make it not that, or how have we contributed to changing it to a different direction there. So just something I feel like just to be aware of there, Scorpio. So alrighty, I think I'm gonna leave that there. Very powerful start there, Scorpio. That's wow. Okay, I see where we're going. And that's so I just got into an Aries, and theirs was so like a little light and fun and things, and you're just like I'm with it. Let's get some tea. Let's talk about the Empress. Because Venus is going to be moving into Capricorn on the 23rd of January at about 3:50 a.m. And this is the Empress. What I've been telling the other signs. This is the Empress in her business professional. She means business, But that's dope though. But you may, because I feel you and Capricorn share this in common. There's a tendency to take relationships more seriously, seeking more stability and long-term commitments rather than short-term, superficial type of flings there. I feel like that is something that you two do kind of share there. And so this could be something, yeah, where we're thinking about deepening our bonds with our current with our current friends there, or just like, Capricorn is like an action. It's not just like oh, these overt displays, just like, oh, I love you, I love you, love you. Well, how do you love me? How are we contribute based off what? Like I hear your words, but what are your actions doing? That's Venus in Capricorn. She's very, very matter of fact when she's in Capricorn. But the nice thing too about this as well is that Venus deals with finances and resources and building that security, that foundation, being that she is, one of the signs that she rules over is Taurus. And in financial matters, there may be a greater focus on savings and investing wisely and making more financially sound decisions. And Scorpio, yours is a sign that does very well with finances as well. Granted, it's joint finances, but financials are the same. You and Taurus are on that financial axis, that resource security sort of access there. So yeah, that's I feel like a very powerful place to really kind of get some savings down, start up some new ideas, maybe start some side hustles there, look into different ways of, investing, incorporating your money, making your money work for you as opposed to you working for the money with that. And then you have, so I'm feeling a little sassy today, Scorpio. Well, no, I'm not. But Venus is going to be entering into Aquarius on the 16th of February at about 11:05 a.m. And now she's gone from her business casual. Now she's taking her suit off. She's dyed her hair purple. She's put on some sort of polka dot dress. And she's just like, what? What you got to say? I know I look good. But with this really impacts our aesthetic preferences, and it's leading to a liking for like more sort of like avant-garde, unique, futuristic styles in our fashion, in our creativity, in our art there. Because again, Aquarius is very unique. That is a real. I feel like, yeah, like I remember there's this Aquarius that I know that has this sign that says you're my kind of weird, and that's Aquarius, and it's like a letting that freak flag fly, and so allowing yourself that unique expression there and being unapologetic about it, and who knows who you might inspire there, Scorpio. So, but also this transit. Might also see an increased engagement in like online, digital, or long distance relationships, considering that Aquarius deals with technology as well. So this could be something where we're thinking about doing how we were talking about networking earlier, maybe doing some networking things online with different groups and things, maybe joining different like activist groups, doing some research along those lines, maybe finding ways how we can contribute something along those lines there. So and just like I'm just thinking too, Scorpio, that Scorpio energy does well under crisis. I feel like of all the signs, Scorpio is built for, like, I feel like there's certain signs that could handle it, but when it comes to just like any sort of emergency, I'm calling a Scorpio. They're gonna do it. Like they got you, and so, oh, excuse me. Yeah, that just kind of popped in my head there, Scorpio. So, but depending on where your Scorpio placements are at, this is going to be first. With this Capricorn, is going to be forming a sextile with your sign, which I feel like that's the fact that when you think about it, that when you do form harmonious aspects with Capricorn, I feel like that's really great because that is working towards your long-term thing. This is creating opportunities to increase your abundance, your wheel of fortune, and whatever that's looking like, things that you wanted to get started up, getting Ace of Pentacles, planting seeds, getting stuff in motion. When this is coming out, Scorpio, we have, hopefully you'll catch this before the new moon that's happening on Thursday, the 11th of January, because we're going to have this new moon. We were starting the new moon cycle that's going to be happening in Capricorn. And so this is going to be very, kind of thinking about setting long-term intentions, thinking about those goals and things. So, and I feel like this is going to be definitely felt if you have Scorpio placements around like the 20th degrees. So that's where it's going to be happening. It's like 20 degrees in like 41 minutes or something like that. But, oh, excuse me, Scorpio. But yeah, and then the Aquarius, just like with the Aquarius, is going to be forming a square. So same deal. But let's go ahead and actually I'm gonna pause 1 second, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, we're back. Yeah, I'm still kind of getting over this. This little cold that I had kind of picked up there. It really came out of nowhere, and it's like random. Like I'll be fine before I get started, and then once I get started, I get like really hot. So it's just like it's doing a lot. But let's go ahead and get into, or get your oracle card here. Interesting there, Scorpio. So you have the Puppet card here. And, the Puppets are these little dolls that, you can take, maybe like, you would do these dolls and like infuse, like maybe incorporate maybe someone's like hair or nails, or like it may sound a little strange, but maybe like even like a piece of like clothing, some sort of personal article that's like personal to them, so it kind of links them and kind of ties their energy to this thing. But I feel that this is more, considering too that you had this witch lungs, I feel like it's being mindful of the energies that we're putting out there, in a sense of like, how do I want to put this? Because have you heard of that, like the threefold, like that, like I think it's like the threefold law, like what you put out there you get back threefold. So we're putting out there like Wheel of Fortune, abundance, and Queen of Cups, like these good vibrations and things, even if we don't necessarily agree with someone there. Because I've needed to practice that over these last couple of weeks there. I mean, there's a situation that I'm not going through it, but I am, it does affect me. And how this person is acting is not fantastic. But I do still want the best for them. I know that we're just going through a certain time, but it's like it's an interesting type of balance there. But ultimately, I try to put out there these good vibrations. But it's not that I'm saying that we're just like letting people like kind of walk all over us and things like that. But I do feel mindful of when we're putting like hateful things and like putting like vengeful, because Justice card in reverse. It's when you put out that sort of like vengeful, so trust that it's I feel like this poppet is kind of tied into this Justice card nicely, because it's just like, let the universe work out these types of things. We don't need to wish ill on someone. If anything, we want them to improve, because what does them staying in a low vibration going to do for us, Scorpio, overall? Especially, like, a great example too is when people say, or because there's someone I know that's infamous for, not, well, hold on, be mindful, that I've noticed will say some things like that, oh, they'll never change and things like that. And I don't think that that's true. I feel that everyone has the capacity to change. Think about where you were like a year ago, maybe even 30 minutes ago. You've changed. But I feel like they have to choose to change. That I do agree. It is a choice. If we're gonna stay in that vibration or not, and whether we're gonna deal with that. And I feel like if something isn't resonating with you, just put a boundary up in there. But why feed and be fixated on that energy and let it affect you? Because all that's gonna do is just mess up your vibration. That's not really doing anything to them. So like, why give your energy there? And that's about where I kind of came to with the situation that I'm in. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to be bothered unless there's the next time I want to hear. I told the person who is more so directly involved, unless there's a solution, or you need me to step in order to do something about this, I don't want to hear about it again, because we're going round and round, wheel of fortune, and there's no sense in doing that. That's affecting my abundance. I ain't got the energy for that. So I just feel like that's something to be mindful of there. Be mindful what you're putting on to others there, because that energy does come back there, Scorpio, and you don't necessarily need that. I feel like you're too high vibe for that. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Absolutely. Like, that's what I mean. Interesting. Thank you. Scorpio, you have the Six of Cups and the Eight of Cups in reverse. And then you have the Sun card, the Seven of Wands, and the Hanged Man here. And the Eight of Cups is in reverse, Saturn and Pisces. If there's some sort of, especially this Eight of Cups, Six of Cups combo, if there's something here that we're having troubles walking away from, something that is keeping us tied to the past or keeping us stuck in some type of loop, I feel like it's just like the Hanged Man can be a card of sacrifice. And it's just like, how much energy do we want to sacrifice for someone or something that, like, does it really matter? It's... I hope you know what I mean there, Scorpio, because this is interesting too, because the Six of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio, and I bring that up to say it's just like, why are we so fixated on this? Why do we feel these intense emotions for these things? And then it's just like, well, then what are we going to do to change about it? And if we can't do anything about it, then I feel like it's a time to move on from that. And I know that's easy, can be easier said than done, but I feel you being the fixed water sign, that you want to be careful about the things you latch onto too tight, because, that'll just drag you down. Granted, you're a water sign, but you're still the Scorpion. So, and, I haven't done any Scorpio or Scorpion research, so I'm not sure how long they can stay in water there, but I imagine it's not as long as maybe like Pisces or, fish or Cancer, the crab, can stay in the water. So I just feel like that is this really worth your happiness, and is it really worth dimming your light and consuming your things? And I feel the Seven of Wands is just like protecting your energies, because that's a lot. when you play that loop over and over and over and over again, it keeps you stuck just like in this perpetual loop. And it's just like how I was talking with like this person that I'm dealing with. I feel like you don't have to forgive the action. I could say, like what I like to say about that is like, listen, yeah, I know you can operate at a higher vibration. I've seen it. Whatever's going on right now, you deal with that. And when you want to have a healthy conversation about it, I'm here for it. But this is not resonating. So we need to take a beat and just sort of pause and reevaluate what's going on there. So yeah, I just feel like it's really paying attention to the things that you give your power to, and like in the things that like getting locked in and feeding into that intensity like that there, Scorpio, because that is one of your traits, that intensity, which is beautiful, but it can be a double-edged sword, just like with my sun signs in Cancer. Our emotion, the fact that we can feel emotions to such a degree and feel it in such a nuanced way is very beautiful, but when it's unbalanced, it's destructive, it's emotional, it's needy, it's whiny, it's not cute. And that's just the facts. So that's where I feel like there's something to be mindful of there. And it's just like, what are we really kind of gaining from putting all that kind of negative energy out there? Just, love and light, take care. I'm with it. Hope that makes sense, Scorpio. All right. Moving along here. Yes, Scorpio, I don't know, I'm really feeling like it. This is like, we're just like, I feel like we're just dishing today. I'm with it. Now let's talk about Taurus. But never mind, Scorpio. But with nature of my problem. But with you, Taurus. We have Big Papa, the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter. That's in Taurus, and then you have Uranus. That's gonna be that's still in. Now he's getting ready to go direct. He'll be going direct on the 27th, which is very interesting because it's like the week after. Pluto. Your ruler moves into. Your ruler and the sun move into Aquarius. It's just like now the modern rule of Aquarius, Uranus, is like waking up, and it's just like, oh, the dynamic has shifted. Now it's just like, let's really get going. Uranus brings like that lightning bolt. Uranus is like I don't want to say a natural disaster. It's more so like the perfect storm. It brings about the change it needs. There's a beauty in his destruction in a way. Like, it's a little different from Pluto. He is breaking down outdated things and really, you can't contain a storm. Like it's. But I feel like there is a lot of big changes that are getting ready to happen with Uranus going direct here. We're going to see some very, very interesting things going down there, Scorpio. But Jupiter's going, with Jupiter being in Taurus, he'll be there till the 25th of May. And with this, there's been an emphasis on growth and expansion in like practical areas, particularly in those related to material resources and physical comfort. So it's also a favorable time for financial planning, investing in long-term assets, and enjoying the physical world there. And we were talking about that earlier. Breathing in and going out, getting out in nature a little bit more, things along those lines. They're appreciating the abundance the world has to offer, but it's more so, Taurus slows that. Jupiter will just give and give and give, but now Taurus slows that down a little bit, and so it's like it's trying to get it to where that the abundance works for us long term, just like that you're working for the I don't know if I had said this with Venus, but it's just like your money's working for you as opposed to you working for the money. That's what Jupiter and Taurus is about. And Then Uranus. Uranus will be in Taurus in, until July 7th, 2025. And with this, there's going to continue to be a collective shift in what is valued materially with how things are changing. Uranus asks us to keep adapting, to keep being innovative. He keeps us from getting stagnant, and keeps us coming up with fresh idea and things. So there may be challenging traditional views of possessions and wealth as well, but this also could lead to significant advances or changes in like agricultural, environmental practices, and how we interact with the natural world there. So, because we have, I feel like as a society, been so used to just consuming all the time, and now it's just like how are we giving back in a sense, really kind of thinking about that, maybe reducing our carbon footprint in some sort of way there. Because I mean we have like just like hurricanes all over the place now, and then like these earthquakes, and just like all this stuff that's been happening. It's I was just getting a message. I was talking with my stepfather not too long ago, and he was telling me that it was like, and granted this is Indiana, he was saying that it was 50 during Christmas, and I was just like, that is unheard of. He said the last time it was anything like that was when I think his first daughter was born, and so it's just like that's doing a lot. This has been a huge environmental shift. Spring has feel like has gotten shorter, fall has gotten shorter. At least in like it feels like in the in like if you're in America. But it's just like it's we're in a place that experiences all four of the seasons. It is the line has been blurred now. There's no real kind of clear transition other than just knowing that, oh, it's Capricorn season, okay, it's winter time, oh, it's Aries season, it's springtime. So, but the thing with this energy too, depending on where your placements are at, this is forming an opposition with your sign. And oppositions they're tough energies too, like squares. They can lead to their polarities. They can lead to challenges. It's like situations or people that force you to make kind of these harder decisions there, Scorpio. But it's one, if we can find a balance between the things that we need to find a way to incorporate them both that works for all parties. They're trying to find the most balanced, fair approach there, and I feel like everything will kind of come together very nicely there. Scorpio. And the nice thing too, I'm sure this has been really tough, being opposed with Jupiter over this last year has been a little tough, but now we're getting ready to get out of that soon, so you'll be able to breathe a little easier now. Big Papa's just like, all right, I'll catch you next time. But yeah, just something to just be aware of there, Scorpio. But let's go ahead and get your next oracle card. Ooh, I think Aries got it in the same place too. Thank you. So you have the festival card here, Scorpio. And I feel with this festival card here that there is, especially if you've been in sort of that, like what I was talking about, either stuck in maybe a certain situation or kind of stuck in the past about something, having troubles letting a situation go, or haven't the energies, haven't been feeling motivated to do things, or however this may be translating. This could be just like getting out there and just having a little fun there, Scorpio, whatever that's looking like there for maybe going to like an art festival, maybe going to maybe like a book reading. I'm not sure, or maybe even joining like a book group or something like that, Scorpio, or whatever this is looking like. But I feel like just incorporating a little more fun, because the energies have been, and I've even noticed it with the people that I'm talking about. They feel something. There is a palpable shift in the energies, and I feel like that is causing a lot of anxieties and a lot of anxiety in quite a few people. But lucky for you, Scorpio, you're aware of what's going on with the energies, and so you can incorporate these things. find these practices, you know, bring a little more joy, a little more festivities, and help raise the vibration as well there too. You know, kind of like I was saying with that Wheel of Fortune, spread the abundance around a little bit. It's just like, yes, there has been all this tough times as well and things like that, but there are things to celebrate too. And I know that can feel hard to want to celebrate, especially with all of the things that are going down, but if we just stay in that sense of woe and state of lack, then what is that going to do? You know, we have to find means in order to, how do we progress that? I feel like it's a shift in how we're going about things in a sense. We're no longer choosing to stay stuck. You know, this Eight of Cups, Six of Cups in reverse. We're moving forward. We're creating new experiences. We're creating this change. That's what your sign does. You bring up these darker things to the surface. We analyze this, how we're going to grow from that, and then we take action, and then we become stronger from it. So and I'm even getting this energy to this download that's just like, maybe even for some, that if you're needing something to clear your mind, maybe even doing some sort of like candle gazing, or maybe even sitting in front of a campfire, or because have you ever done that, Scorpio, when you go to maybe sit in front of fire and you just sort of like, you really just like have like your mind just kind of clears there. You're just becoming one with the fuel, that raw type of energy that fire does bring. This it's really, it's almost beguiling how it's how fire can activate, or fire can entrance us sometimes. It's very interesting. So you know, that might even be something too for some that can maybe help you out there, Scorpio. Just a little extra note there, but let's get your tarot cards on this. Alright, Scorpio, let's see what's going on here. Alright, so you have the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and then the Five of Swords in reverse, and then you have the Eight of Swords and the World upright here. Where do you want to start? So with the Five of Swords being in reverse here, I feel for some, that's interesting. This Five of Swords is almost giving me this energy that we've been a little closed off maybe from others there, as far as like this exchanging maybe of ideas, or maybe even just like this kind of socializing energy into, in a sense there. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just like the people that we've been around, the conversation that have not been, maybe they haven't been that great, or maybe we need to find ourselves a new group to maybe even like possibly hang around with. And I feel like there's a lot of that energy sort of coming around here with this kind of like Aquarius energy here, like something like with the dynamics and certain maybe groups have been kind of like just evolving here, because this Eight of Swords is like this self-imposed prison, but now I feel like maybe it's like we're kind of freeing ourselves from maybe the more kind of negative vibrations that have been in, maybe been put upon us with this Eight of Swords, and kind of seeing the truths for what it is, you know, like, because I feel like when you're in that, again, like in that state of negativity and surrounded by that all the time, that does drain your energies quite a bit there, and it can lead to the state of burnout. You can feel like there's so much responsibility, and it's just like, oh, I have to do this, I need to do that, there's not enough time, I'm only one person, you know, it's just a lot. But now I feel it's like for some we might be kind of closing a chapter out with some groups here, or you know, possibly, you know, but I even feel too, if this is not something with a social group, maybe in like a personal group, this could be even too just like the things that you may be listening to, whether this be your podcast, your YouTube, radio, TV, whatever that's look, however you kind of digest these kind of informations and things. It's just like I feel like it's like kind of separating yourself from that a little bit. And again, it's not like we're ignoring the problem, but it's just like unless there's some sort of solution based action that's being incorporated with that, then we're not putting our energies there into anymore, because why would we otherwise? What's the point of, well, the sky is falling, and it's like, okay, so are we just gonna let it fall, or you know what I mean, Scorpio? And so I feel that this is a time to, like with that Hanged Man, a new perspective is kind of coming through. They're kind of thinking about things in a different type of way there. And I was just talking about this with someone yesterday. As far as, because this could even come down to the music that you're listening to there, Scorpio. Maybe even that kind of might keep you locked up there. But whatever this medium is, I was riding in this lift the other day, and the music that was on was very violent. It was a very, very interesting, just like kind of tough vibration to kind of be in. And it's just like, man, this is where our energies have been trained to be put into. It's so, there's no nuance in it. It's all the same. Excuse my language there, Scorpio. I don't do this often, but it's the same old shit. And it's just like, what are we even doing? It was kind of appalling, really. And listen, I do love music, but you have to pay attention to how those things affect you and how those incorporate you, because you can internalize that stuff very deeply. Maybe if you don't feel like it on a conscious level, subconsciously that stuff is being absorbed within you. And so I feel like we really do want to be mindful of that, Scorpio. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there. All right, but let's get to this last energy here, which is Pisces. Because you have Saturn that is in Pisces, and then you have Neptune that's in Pisces. Now, Saturn will be in Pisces until May 25th, 2025. And this energy, I like this placement for Saturn. And I like any placement for Saturn, because Saturn, I feel like, gets this really bad rep. He's known as like the great malefic or whatever. And it's just like he's really not, it may only seem like that just because, again, he asks, like, the world here. It may seem like that, but he wants you to better yourself. He knows what you can accomplish. So he's the type, like, he's no nonsense, let's do it. And he's the type that if you put in the work with whatever sign that he's in, can you imagine? Because here's the thing. You are already a powerful intuitive, Scorpio. Can you imagine how much more that's going to increase and evolve over time when you're working with this Saturn in Pisces energy, this Neptune in Pisces energy? Because Saturn won't be in Pisces again for another, he takes 30, I want to say he takes about 30 years to take a lap around the zodiacal wheel. And Neptune takes a lot longer, so we may not see, we won't see Neptune in Pisces again, not on this go round. So this is a very intuitive time. This is a really time to tap into that. But with Saturn, it's a period for grounding dreams and spiritual insights, learning important emotional and spiritual lessons, and responsibly navigating that more ethereal and aspects of life, because that is something that is very important. That intuition is not, is not something to be abused. It's something to be worked with, and in order to help and to raise that vibration and to bring this sunlight, to bring new insights and things. So, and then with Neptune will be in Pisces until the 30th of March 2025. And this is a period, this has been a period of profound spiritual and emotional shifts, both on a personal and a collective level. And it's a time that really favors introspection, artistic pursuits, and the exploration of spiritual realms. But we also want to be careful about navigating of, or excuse me, careful it requires a careful navigation of the line between that reality and illusion, because Neptune, does dissolve those boundaries and things get a little nebulous and can get a little murky with Neptune. So that's something to pay attention to. And the lovely thing about this too is that depending on where your placements are, this is forming a trine with your sign. And so that's very fast moving energies, removing blockages. You really can accelerate it's almost like you're getting like a crash course over these next 3 years. It's just like intuition 101, spirituality 101. Let's get into it. Let's go. Absorb as much as you can. Really connect with your source, understanding. And it can feel a little strange maybe at first, can feel a little out of whack. People may think about you looking type of way, but you know what, that Scorpio I was talking about, she was talking to me about a person who had transitioned, and how they had showed up, and she felt that, how she felt that she showed up in this. It was a peacock that had came through, and then when it was a beautiful, so I get chills even just thinking about it. But Scorpio energy does that, and so I feel like you can make the most of that, Scorpio. You really can do some phenomenal things there. But let me get your last oracle card here. Yeah, because we've just been chatting there, Scorpio. But let me get your last oracle card here. Ooh, Scorpio. So you got the fire card here. And and we were just talking about that with that fire. So that statement that I was talking about fire before, that might be something that plays into factor there, or plays into point there. Fire might be something that is important to you. And not that I feel like, there's going to be fires all around you. It's more so that, like, working with, like, again, maybe doing some, like, candle work or something along those lines. Working with, however that might be looking like. But I do feel this fire card is igniting something within you, Scorpio, allowing your... Oh, hopefully that's not too loud for a second. I got the window open and it's really starting to downpour there. And I feel like it's not letting things, dampen. Ha! Love that when thank you, rain. It's not letting things dampen your fire there, Scorpio. And I feel like it's how do you keep that drive with all these things that are going on there? How do you stay motivated? And I'm even getting to, if you haven't looked into your chart there, Scorpio, you may take a look into that. You may have a lot of fire placements that you may not be aware of. That can kind of explain. Maybe you have like a fire moon, maybe like a Leo, Sag, Aries moon, or maybe you have a lot of like Sagittarius placements, because that would be where you would have more stuff if it's not within like the more so like Mercury and all that other stuff, like Mercury. But you get what I'm getting at, but. But yeah, I feel like it's just like, and I feel like too, Scorpio, this fire is asking you what does inspire you, what keeps you going, what gets your heart up pumping, what do you find passion excuse me, what brings about this sense of passion and drive within you, and then pursuing that, allowing yourself to express that wholly there. But let me get your let me get your last tarot cards here, so I can get you out of here. Let's go. Let me grab this card here. Alright, so you have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Cups, and then the Hermit card in reverse, which is Virgo energy, and then you have the Four of Swords and the Lovers here, which is Gemini energy. And let's switch back over. Because I feel with this energy there, Scorpio, that for some, I feel this Hermit is saying it's time to get out there, especially if we've been kind of bottled up, been sort of like kind of cooped up in our space, maybe been, and I get it, Scorpio, you might been doing some healing, maybe been doing some processing and things, and, just trying to figure out what to do next, maybe you've been, So I had two things with that. Maybe you've been, I don't know, it's just like maybe you're just, because that's interesting. This Ten of Cups is even giving me this sort of like this peace energy of wanting everyone to kind of be together in a sense, to kind of come together as a family in a sense, but not in like a sort of like a and it's not like I was gonna say, like like a not like a cheesy way, but it's not cheesy. Like wanting us all, because we all come from source. We're source expressed in billions of different ways. But I do feel that there is this cups here, just a lot of emotions. I feel like that are not being, that are maybe been kind of. Maybe we've been just sort of like stewing in that, and I feel like it's making this choice here with the Lovers to just kind of get out there and just sort of like, I don't know, just allow yourself to breathe again, give yourself some space, even if you're not just socializing, maybe just going out there for a walk, something to clear your head, something to just kind of break up the monotony of just like the same old day-to-day stuff, because Virgo can deal with that sort of like, one of their aspects is that they deal with that routine type of energy, and I feel like too it deals with they deal with health as well, and how maybe this lack of energy that we've been moving, maybe we've been sleeping a lot, Scorpio, and it's just like, how do we shift up that energy in a sense? And and I know, like, connect to our sort of like higher calling there, like what we're meant to, how we're meant to shine, again, what inspires you, making more choices towards that, because the Ten of Cups is that wish come true, and so I feel like it is asking what you wish, and then believing that you can achieve it, but also realize too that excuse me, Scorpio, that you don't, let me get some tea, that you don't have to carry the world on your shoulders, that you do have people who want to raise the vibration with you. So it's like now it's maybe getting, starting to form these, collaborative exchanges and things like that. So that's one thing to consider. But last little thing there, Scorpio, is that especially if you have a Scorpio rising, Pluto's getting ready to transit through your fourth house, which can deal with the family and the home space and things, and even like ancestry, maybe even some past life things, maybe even kind of get up, like even some like ancestral traumas and things may come up for you there that might need some healing, possibly. It's gonna be I feel like that's something to pay attention to. Because Ten of Cups can be a card of family as well. And so I find that interesting that that would come up there for you. That's where Pluto's going to be at for your sign over the next 20 years, transiting through that fourth house placement. So, yeah, just and I just feel like it's like thinking about, and it's not something I feel like to fear. It's just like, how do we embrace these changes, and what do these changes mean, and how they may manifest. So, because I'm a Leo rising, and so he's Pluto's about to go through my seventh house, so relationships, and it is, so we'll see how that's gonna look. But all right, Scorpio. I think I think I've kept you long enough there. I enjoyed this, Scorpio. I appreciate it. But if you like that, Scorpio, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And oh, okay, don't. And share this, Scorpio, if you know someone who's been either holding on to some type of things, or needing to get out there, or wanting to help more. We kind of covered a pretty wide range there, Scorpio. Needing to get out, have some fun, needing to feel inspired there. So yeah, definitely something to think about there, Scorpio. And then subscribe there. You, son, hit that bell button. You get notified on all these videos each week. And then last little bit. If you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the charity then, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. I do tarot card spreads based off of what sign she's in and what phase she's in when she's going void, of course. I've really come to enjoy that channel. I enjoy the charity and friends. So I hopefully you just want to just come over there just to kick it. I don't know about you, Scorpio, but I love Scorpios. I get along with every Scorpio I've ever met. I love Scorpio energy. So you're always welcome over there, Scorpio. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. Interesting. So you got the Nine of Cups in reverse. And so now, because this is where the Ten of Cups is the wish fulfillment, the Nine of Cups is the wish. And so I feel that for some, I feel like it's, what is that wish? What do we truly want to change? Where do we want to see things really kind of grow and expand there? But I feel like that if we're having troubles getting our dream to accomplish, maybe because it's just so vast what you want to do, this could be a time to kind of reach out again to collaborate, kind of get this group there, form these alliances there, kind of form up and come together and rise, rise to the cause there. We are getting into a new age with Aquarius there. We're all going to come together as we're going to need to come together as a group, I feel, with all these changes that are getting ready to happen there. And it might seem a little shocking at first with all the things that are going down, but I feel like if we can go about this with the same type of cause there, how we want to better the world may be different, but I feel like as long as we're not, we're bringing, high vibrations and this love and light and things, and listen, I'm not saying this stuff like we're just all peace and we're not gonna do anything along those. So that's what causes the balloons. I did that accidentally for Aries and I wasn't sure what that was about, but so now I remember what causes that. So thanks for that, Scorpio. But what was I saying? Oh goodness! Now the thought just fell out of my head. That's fine, Scorpio. It'll. Oh goodness. Oh, that it's. I feel like it's like coming at conflict in a different way. I feel like we don't have to. I feel like sometimes where people they're like the excuse for war. And listen, this is not a political thing or whatnot, but and that, you know what I mean. But it's just like. It's just like, how can we solve problems more constructively? That's where I feel like this is. That's what I basically have to say to that, Scorpio. But let me get your other oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Oh, all right. Oh, I think this happened. I forgot which, some other sign got this too. But you got the magician or musician card in reverse there. And this is a card of inspiration and gratitude. And so look for things that inspire you. We were talking about that with that fire energy. And I feel it is too, even with all of the things that, again, all the negative stuff that is happening in the world as well. There are plenty things to be grateful for as well. You know, we may have to look for them a little bit harder, but they are there. It might have been kind of buried underneath all of this stuff, but it's there, Scorpio. We just have to find it. So I feel that this is a time for you to I don't know, be not just feel inspired, but to be an inspiration for others, because I feel your energy does put things into a different perspective, that where yes, I've gone through, you know, Scorpio energy goes through some things. When I see people with Scorpio placements, especially a lot of Scorpio, that's someone who's seen some things and gone through some things. And Scorpio energy is not easy, but it is powerful and it is healing and it's so loving, and it's just like there's this, it really is a beautiful energy, and I feel like it's definitely one of the signs that get misunderstood, and I feel that it is one that, yeah, be grateful for the gifts that you do have, Scorpio, because it does, if there was no Scorpio energy, the world would be a hot mess. So just keep that in mind. But you stay safe out there, Scorpio. Let me get you out of here. Oh, with all this stuff here, because again, we did talk about quite a bit there, and you raise your vibration through the roof. You know, because this is a lot of stuff to think about. So definitely, it's Queen of Cups. Make sure to self-care, take care of your time. You know, balance out that type of energy, and so and then I will catch you on the next one later.